We are going through all the amazing acts that we have on our 2FM Rising list for 2025. Our next act has on her bio on Instagram the best pop act that you don't know yet, but we're going to find out more about her. It's Pastiche.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm delighted. Like, I'm buzzing. I'm so happy.
Are you happy to be here, or happy to just because it's it's a random day, or is it because you're on the list for 2025?
I mean, a multitude of things. It's meant to snow, so that's exciting. No, obviously being on the list, like, I've been buzzing ever since I found out. Like, you cannot, like, step on me. Like, I feel like I'm floating.
Well, I love this for you because I think that you have been on our radar here in 2FM for a long time now. You've been working so hard. So let everybody know who you are, where you come from, and your sort of music.
So my name is Pastiche. I'm a pop artist. I am from Dublin. I'm from a little place called Malahide. And yeah, I'm obsessed with pop music. I went to music college, and I remember, like, everyone being like, oh, my favorite band is like this band you've never heard of. They're so indie and so cool. And me being like, I love Katy Perry. And that not going down too well. And kind of, it being like a thing of like, oh, pop music isn't cool. I think that we kind of went through a phase between, like, I don't know, 2012, not 2012, that was kind of a Renaissance era. Like 2016, 2018, like, pop music just wasn't that cool. And I am just a pop music girly. It's in my blood. Like, I love it so much. Like, I still remember the first time I heard Poker Face on the radio. Do you know what I mean? Like, things like that. And yeah, I remember I came into college and I was like, no, screw this. I am pop. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm just going to release my own music. And did I have a clue how to do it? Absolutely not. Hadn't a clue, but I was like, I'm just going to make this work. And so I kind of started working with my friends and creating music and releasing it. And then I just, like, booked a show in Whelan's, and I didn't know how to do that. I remember I, like, got the guy's email. I was like, hi, I'd like to book a show, please. And he was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Pastiche. And yeah, from there on, I've just kind of been grinding it out. I'm like a semi-workaholic. So I just love the grind. I love the game of it all,
So not only are you creative in the artistry of being a pop star or a pop musician, you're also like to get involved in the behind the scenes part of it all.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a control freak with that. But I think it's because I care so much about my music. And I think with my music as well, like, yeah, it's pop music. And I love music that makes you feel a certain way that you can just dance to and have a good time to. But when you kind of peel back the layers of the production, like, lately I've been really into, like, that kind of 80s production. There is a story, there's a message, and I feel like that's kind of the like the pop production that I use is kind of like almost like a suit of armor. So it's like I'm saying some really deep stuff, but like, oh, but put a cute beat over it and no one's gonna notice, And I think it's the same with, like, my name. It's like I use Pastiche as almost like that kind of suit of armor as well, because Pastiche is like a character. Pastiche is like how I view myself, Do I wake up like this? Absolutely not. But this is like who I feel most me as.
You said there that you might be a little bit of control freak about a few things that within your control and life and art. That you have a song called Forfeit Control. What's that about then?
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that's like the total opposite. That song was... Yeah, do you know what? That song is all about how I really learned that you actually can't control everything in your life. Literally this time last year, I was diagnosed... Sorry, cue the violin. I was diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis. And that was a big... I mean, I'd been struggling for like 10 years, but obviously, like, everyone, no doctor ever took me seriously, medically gaslit for my entire life, just, being a woman in general is like, you're never going to be taken seriously with certain things. And like the amount of times I've ended up in A&E and just being told, like, oh my God, you have IBS, take some Buscopan. And yeah, I finally got surgery after, like, put my foot down and just like having a slight mentee B, I'm not gonna lie. And I had my mom there being like, it's okay, we're gonna get someone to listen to you. Yeah, and I had surgery and I got diagnosed, and it's, I kind of expected like a little stage 1 moment, like, oh, there's something wrong, but like, you're grand, we took it out, you're fine. But no, stage 4, and the doctor was kind of like to me, so when are you planning on having kids? And I was like, no time soon. I'm like a child bride. Like, what are you talking about? I'm 17 years old. And he was like, well, if you don't have them in the next year or so, there's a real chance that you won't. And so I was living in London at the time as well. And it costs a lot of money to freeze your eggs. And so I had to be like, well, I want to spend my money because I'm fully independent. You know, I don't have a label, a booking agent, a publisher, nothing. And so I was like, well, I guess I have to move home, move back in with my mom so I can freeze my eggs and then also have money to get this music out. And so I was kind of writing Forfeit Control about like, this is not how I saw my life going. You know, I thought I was going to move to London and things were going to really kick off for me, and, you know, things would, I don't know how the trajectory I saw. And I think it was a thing of learning, like, the universe is going to universe and it's going to do its thing, and you can't fight with that, and you have to sometimes just go, okay, this is the direction it's pulling me, so that's where I'm going to go. And I'm so glad I did now, because I got to release such great music this year, and, you know, and it's now ended up in me being 2FM Rising.
Yeah.
And that's such, like, it's such an institution, it's such an important part of pop music culture in Ireland as well, and bringing that to the forefront. And it's like the people who've come before through this, it's insane. So to be even considered to be half as good as any of them is like insane.
Well, listen, we have been watching your star rise, and we're so delighted to have you on the list as well. And also we have to commend you as well, because, you know, stage 4 endometriosis is no joke. It's very painful. It's a lot to actually get up out of bed sometimes when you're dealing with a chronic pain. It's a chronic illness.
Yeah.
So to be able to create, get on stage, do all the stuff that you do yourself as well is amazing. So well done to you.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
well done. What can people expect when you are on stage? Because if you are a pop princess singing pop songs, but with a message as well, what's your show like? Because we're loving the vibe.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm in my leather, my corset. This is just a casual, what day is it? Wednesday?
So what's a Saturday night?
Oh yeah. No, in fairness, Saturday night is like me in my hoodie with a peppermint tea watching Married at First Sight. Let's be honest. My show, well, in fairness, when I came home in the summer, I was like, right, I need to, this show, because I hadn't gigged in a really long time because of everything that was going on. And I was like, right, you know, and gigs, it's such a cycle of thing. You have to get a gig to get the next gig, you know? And so I was kind of like out of that cycle. So I was like, right, the next gig I do, it has to be great. And so I spent the summer basically redoing my set from the ground up, and it like runs like a almost theater show in a way. And there's some really cool elements in my, I don't want to give it away, but there's some really fun things that happen in my show. And I do this fun thing that every gig I do, I wear a cute t-shirt that says something really ridiculous on it, and it's kind of like my thing. Like I was supporting Aiko in the Academy on Sunday last week, and the t-shirt I had was "Men never fail to disappoint me." You know what I mean? And my nanny was front row barricade for that show. Love you, Nan. That was iconic though. Like my nana getting the barricade. Like, come on now, the barrier. I was like, guys, my nan made the barrier. Yay!
Tell me about your family hearing you on the radio. Is that a nice moment for you?
Oh my god, it's so cool. It's so cool. My mom. I keep going on about this, but like my mom's obsessed with Betta De Silva. Like she's so obsessed with him, and she always listens to his show. And he plays my music, and I think maybe that's why she loves him so much, but she just, yeah, she's obsessed. And we were driving in the car one day, because I'm learning to drive. And he was on the radio, and he was like, "This new one from Pastiche." And we both looked at each other, we're like, oh my god. And I was like, "Mom, get the phone. And she's just like, I don't know. I mean, it's like me, you asking me about my mom being excited, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so cool. I think she doesn't understand, like, whoa, how does this happen? I think she just thinks like, oh, you just send it to this person's email, and it's like, no, it's really hard to get your music on the radio. So for people to actually listen and care and want to push an unsigned Irish artist is like, yeah, it makes it even more meaningful.
Listen, it is brilliant to have you here in 2FM. We cannot wait to play more of your great music on the station, to see you perform at festivals, and to be part of the Rising List for 2025. Pastiche, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
The sound of the nation.